This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Mormon Church appeals tithing lawsuit after former member sues for his money back. Lawyers for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints say judges violated the First Amendment's protections of religion when they resurrected a lawsuit brought by James Huntsman, accusing the faith's top leaders of fraud. In a petition filed seeking a rehearing before the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, church attorneys say the legal dispute over tithing and spending on the City Creek Center shopping mall in downtown Salt Lake City has created a profound threat to religious liberty, one potentially affecting all churches. The petition urges either a 3-judge panel or the full Ninth Circuit to take up and reject the case in hopes of preventing it from going back to the U.S. District Court for a jury trial. James Huntsman, son of the late Utah industrialist philanthropist John Huntsman Sr., is seeking the return of at least $5 million in tithing along with interest and penalties. He sued the church in March 2021, alleging that then church president Gordon B. Hinckley and other senior Latter-day Saint authorities misrepresented how donations from members were spent. A district court judge dismissed Huntsman's lawsuit in September 2021, saying no reasonable juror would agree with his contention that Hinckley and other church leaders lied about the spending. But a 3-judge panel of the Ninth Circuit ruled to reverse that decision in August. A lot of interesting stuff in this. I did a quick look to see where the courts have stood on things like this. And most of the times with a not-for-profit group, a 501c3, stuff like that, unless the monies were donated for a specific reason,
right,
you can't get it back. Even political action committees have had times when they've had to give money back. I was looking, and the Orange Magic guy, he's had to give back a whole lot of money because of misappropriation. But again, the central case is usually about misappropriation.
I'm stunned. That's so off-brand for him.
You don't look stunned. You don't look stunned at all.
You look like, wow, just another day in beautiful South Florida. But the bottom line is, when we make contributions to groups, 501c3 groups, we generally understand that they're going to use that money the way they think it should be spent. There are no strings attached to it, and if there are strings attached to it, I know at least at Sunshine Cathedral, we have told people that we are not for sale. Our integrity is not for sale. So unless there's something like that going on, I don't see how this case moves forward.
Yeah, and it's church, it's religion, so it's a different philosophy. This isn't like other kinds of philanthropy. Because in with the concept of tithing, you are giving to the sacred. You're giving, in fact, one of the old prayers we used to say is, or one of the old invitations to giving is, give as giving unto God. And so it's a different mindset. So if I am giving in good faith to what I believe is an important ministry, then my theology says I'm doing a good thing. Now, if you misuse it and I don't like what you're doing with it, I still did a good thing. You're the one who did a bad thing. And if I don't like that, I can now start giving you something else. Like, because I tithe because I believe in tithing.
I like
who I tithe to is a choice. So if I don't like what you're doing with it, then I will begin tithing somewhere else. But tithing is part of my faith. That's part of how I celebrate the goodness I've enjoyed in life. That's part of me participating in the circulation of divine supply. So I'm giving because I'm a giver. And then if I don't like what you're doing with what I've given you, then I just give to someone else. But I did the good thing by giving. You did the bad thing by using it badly, if in fact you did. Now, this is also complicated, I think, because I wouldn't think of a shopping mall as being ministry. I probably wouldn't give to help you get a shopping mall. But their reasoning may be, well, if you give this one time, or this one campaign, or this one season, or whatever, then we'll have a business that will make money forever. And so we're investing in the future. That could be the rationale. I don't know. I don't know anything about the Mormon politics. But also, I know. I mean, when I was in seminary in New York, the Presbyterian Church, just several blocks away from my seminary, they own the building that the Starbucks was in next door. And all churches, I know several churches that own parking lots that you have to pay to park in, or parking garages that you have to pay to park in. And almost all churches rent their own property out. How many churches, they're all but dead, but there's a daycare there because they rent all their empty space or whatever out. And so, I don't know, this is on a bigger scale than that. This is a bigger scale than a parking lot, but still, it happens. And I think, I don't know what the law is going to say, but I know theologically, as a giver, I am giving as part of my faith.
Yes.
And if I don't like what you're doing with it, then I just find someone else to give to, but I'm going to give. Because that's part of how I celebrate the goodness of life.
Right. When you give to a church, when I give to a church, you have to give with no strings. I am giving as part of my generosity. I have received, and so I share, and so I give, and I'm very happy and fortunate to be able to do that. Now, with our food sharing ministry, I apply for grants, and you have to account for that grant money. We used it for this specific purpose, and so that we have to be accountable for that. But we also receive money that's just, here, feed people. Here, feed people. And if they see that we're not feeding people, then, give to something else, do something else. But when giving to a church or giving to something like that, you really have to give. No strings. Make something wonderful happen. And if you don't like what's happening, then change it up.
Give to something you believe in.
Exactly.
And trust. And if that changes on their end, just find something else.
But
you giving, that's part of you. That's part of you being grateful for being able to give.
I remember there was a story where a child was walking down the street with a parent, and the child saw the parent give a person asking for money. And the child says to the parent, well, they're only going to go and spend it on something not good for them. And the parent said, that's on them. That's not on me. I'm giving freely and generously because that's who I am. What they do with it says something about them.
There you go. Perfect story. Next up, we are excited to tell you about our next adventure with our Global Fellowship. In 2024, we'll be going where the hills are alive as we explore Austria and Alpine Europe for Gay Oktoberfest. Space is extremely limited, so make sure to go to happeningout.travel/sunshine to reserve your space now.
Would you like to join the Queer God Squad on a special winter cruise in 2024? Well, now you can. You will visit Cozumel, Mexico, Grand Cayman, and Ocho Rios. And you can even add an open bar and Wi-Fi. Join us by going to happeningout.travel/sunshine.